Hello, I'm just trying to do a video on how to point a satellite dish. It seems simple, but I've ran across a lot of people, lots and lots of people, on how to point a dish and they couldn't figure it out. I've installed a few thousand probably dishes and it's pretty easy. Anyways, it just depends if you have a meter or not. If you have a meter, it makes things a lot easier, and you can pick up the cheap ones at Radio Shack and do most of your work on the outside. But if you don't have a meter, you can still do it, which is probably the majority of you people that are even watching this video. On a Dish Network satellite, and it may be different on DirecTV, you would press the menu button right here, and then you go through the process of system setups and point dish, but it's 611, or I'm going to show you in a second. Alright, first you're going to press the menu button, and it brings you into the screen here. And then that 6 I was telling you about is the system setups up here. 6, and then you're going to want to go to 1 up to installation, and then you're going to want to go to point dish signal, and it's going to bring up a meter, and we can go to peak angles, and you put in your zip code, and let's say your zip code is 97559. That's just a total oddball. And it shows you your azimuth angles, your elevation angles, and your skew angles. And you can change it to whatever zip code. I don't even know. 898855. And there's your azimuth, elevation, skew. Anyways, you write those numbers down. And I suppose if you had a dish 300, if you had a dish 300, you can go over to these other ones. But, I don't know if I can get over there. That's weird. Anyways, I don't know how to get over to those. Anyways, you can get down to dish 300, dish 500, or the super dish. But 99% of the dishes are the dish 500. And you have the azimuth, elevation, and your skew written down, okay? And then I'm going to show you what you're doing. Hold on. You're now going to need your dish. It's a normal dish. I have mine on a little porch on my apartment here, and I have it cemented into a pot here. But the biggest, most important thing to do is the pole that you're mounting on. If it's on a house or a pole or in a pot like this, it's got to be level. I'll show you which one you got to be level. This pole right down here, the one that it's going up and down, that's going to be level in both directions. Then you take those azimuths and elevations markings, and you go to the markings right here. Oops. You put that marking in right there. You move it till it's tightened, and you can do this one up in here, and that does your skew and your elevation. And then the azimuth is them turning the dish side to side. Now, if you have your dish level both ways and you have those settings in it, it's a matter of where that is in the site. And you're I'm on the West Coast, so you're going to be shooting southeast is where it's going to be. But it shows you on the thing. I think it's 149. If you have a compass, you can look at 149 degrees, find it on there. If not, just look around, find another Dish Network or DirecTV satellite, and it's going to be pointing in your southeast direction. But if you know where southeast is, you're going to have all that level, all those settings in there, and then you're going to tighten up the bolts so it's just loose enough to move it on the pole. Once it's loose enough to move on the pole, you're going to rotate the dish. Once you snugged it up on the pole, you're going to rotate the dish, and you're going to start on the right side. Now, if you don't have a meter to hook into the back of your dish, you run that line all the way into your satellite. Now we're going to get back in here, and I have it still in where the zip code is, and the azimuth and elevation and skew. The azimuth is that compass reading, but if you know where southeast is, or if you're on the East Coast, I'm sure it's southwest. If you're in the center of the United States, it's probably just south. But anyways, you put that in, you figure that out. I'm going to hit cancel, and it brings you back to the point dish screen here. And the 119 is the one you're going to want to point on. So I'm going to go up to 119. And if you see the meter down there, let's see if I can see it on here. Okay, you see the meter down there? It shows you what kind of signal strength it is. Mine's pretty low for right now, but somebody bumped into my dish, or my porch. Anyways, you got this meter down here, and if you don't have that meter, you can use this and you just turn your volume of your TV up. I'm just turning the volume on my TV up. Jacob, touch the dish, not the LMB, and just move it to the side a little bit. Just bend it just a little bit.
This over here? Okay. This
No, no, the dish.
Oh, bend it where? This way?
Just a little bit. Just bend it just a little bit. You see how that's moving? Now let go, Jacob. See how it moves back and forth? That's good, Jacob. You're done. Anyways, you can bend it and move it. Now you start off and down to the southwest side, and you start rotating that dish around. I'm gonna stop and set. Hold on a second. Okay, you're gonna start out on the southwest side, more away from the southeast, but towards the southwest, and you're gonna move it until you hit the first satellite, and it's gonna go from a blank to all of a sudden you'll hear this. It's gonna start squealing, and the more you move it, it's gonna squeal. Then what I do is I rotate a little bit farther. It's gonna stop, go make a noise, and then it's gonna have another squeak. That's your 110 satellite. So then what you want to do is rotate back to the first one, and then tighten it down on the things. Then you can come back into the house, and then you're going to want to do a check switch, and I'll show you that. That's your check switch, right? So you go to your check switch, you select it, and then you go over to test, and then it's going to bring back your 118, 110, and it's going to be some kind of variation between 118 and 110. It's going to say all or even. I mean, it's going to say uneven, but it's going to the twins will just show 119 and 110. And okay, like I was saying, it's going to bring back what satellites you got in on there. Now, if you have your pole level and your settings in right, and your dish snug to the pole just enough so you can rotate it, that snugness and the levelness is so important. But you have that stuff snug and set right, you rotate it by, and you're going to get exactly what I said, and you're going to get the your settings. But if you only have the 119, then you just rotate it to the left or to the east a little bit farther, and then until you hit the next squeak, and then you tighten it down and come check it again. If you're only getting the 110, then it means you're to the west a little bit too far. So then you're going to want to rotate it to the east a little bit more. The whole point of it is you're going to do a little bit of tinkering in here and there, but all you got to do is that check switch where it's going to get this squawk right here. And if you can bring... Okay. After you've got that dish pointed and tightened down, and you get the signal to where you want, you have both signals. When I leave the dish on the outside, I would have tightened it up because it's only 2 bolts. But if you haven't tightened it up yet, you need to go tighten up those bolts as tight as you can get them without breaking the bolts and moving your dish. You want to make sure that mounts really good in, and if you're going into a roof, make sure you silicone up the bolts really good underneath the foot and on top of the heads of the bolts, because you don't want a leak in your roof. And also you do not want to mount in the dish in the roof unless last resort. You want to go on an eave, onto the side of the house, onto even a pole mount, a sturdy pole mount that is. But you do not want to put holes in that roof because you guys know the reason you don't want holes in the roof. But after you get that pointed, then you do the check switch. And if it's a new receiver, then it's going to say, do you want to download the information? You just say yes. It's going to download everything. And then you just call it Dish Network, and you can order your programming or whatever. You're going to get a few free channels, but I think that's everything. And if I think of anything else, I'll post it. But if you have any questions, go ahead and send me a comment, which is right below down here. And subscribe up here if you want to do it. And also right down here, you can rate me. So you guys have a good day, and bye.